I sent Tom a text message saying, come meet Sled Yucky. And it's okay, you got your helmet on. None of your friends can see you cry. Yes, here is Mr. Tom. So you got my text, huh?
All right.
So
What'd you buy?
Sled Yucky is the name for it right now.
Yep.
And it's one of those things you just got to experience to believe.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna.
So I was gonna ask you too. How many snowmobiles can you ride at once?
Well,
This
look.
kind of feels like the welder thing.
So okay, let's get a few things first. Have I ever been practical?
No.
Exactly.
You're single. You don't need to be practical.
Exactly. Okay, what got this all started? Yes, it actually is a '78 little Yamaha 340 Enticer. You're gonna see it in a few other videos. We broke it out for Thanksgiving. My godson, who had never ran a sled before, absolutely loved it. We got Tom's kids out there. They absolutely loved it. I had one as a kid. It was just super, super awesome.
And it surprisingly wasn't too big for them.
No.
My fear was that a 340 was going to be too big.
Yep, because they had a kitty cat, and the kitty cat last year, Adeline's knees were just about hitting the bars.
What is this?
I will give you some few parameters of this. Here, I actually got it broke down on chart.
I'm looking at the skis, right? So I'm looking at the skis. The skis tips look the same.
So it is a
So the ski tips look the same. I would have to say it's probably the same vintage.
Why would I buy something?
It was cheap.
Exactly, and
You think you can fix it?
probably. This
Which I'd say 98% of the time can.
There's a few foul balls, and they're not all home runs. So,
Shop Excel sheet.
this is what you call a shop Excel sheet. Okay,
All right, so it is an Enticer.
So it is nicknamed Sled Yucky for now.
So I'm in fear because if you think it's yucky, I'm gonna wonder why you drove to Wisconsin for this.
So the awesome friend of mine that came with me is like, so we're driving 250 miles. Actually, it was 280 miles one way to buy a $250 sled. Yeah,
In a $75,000 truck.
yeah, pretty much. There was no negotiation when I got there. Let's put it that way. So here's why. Here is why. Drove 4.5 hours yesterday to pick this up. So retail on these, if one that's running in a decent shape, like if I was to go sell the red one right now, I'd probably be asking about $850, $900. So retail is about $750, $1,200.
Yeah.
Purchase price $250. Location, Elko, Wisconsin, 280 miles away from where we live. And I want to point this out to all you married folks.
You left at 2 p.m.
Estimation time left, 2 p.m. Arrival time, 1 a.m. Actual price, $250. Retail, I'd say between $750, $1,200, what they're going for right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got actual price, we got estimated parts. We got to be logical on this. $100 to $150 in extra parts because it just happens. It just does. Target expense $750, $800 roughly for the goal, kind of in our range here, which brings us back to
see this ugly beast.
So Tom has not seen this. Mr. Adam, do you mind slowly, gently pulling the tarp because something might fall off? Keep going. Keep going. So far, it's not getting caught in the handlebars.
Keep going.
Keep going.
On the windshield.
It was what I had laying in back. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you a 1980 Enticer. If you look at it right now, she's kind of complete. She's got a hood. It's got a seat that's not bolted down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, though.
Sitting outside too, that's pretty clear.
Yeah, you know, it definitely did, but a lot of them did. Okay, so now the real excitement is when you pop the hood. So we got crate seat.
Is there a motor in here?
Well, there was mice.
Like still mice?
No, I got them out. Don't worry. They didn't cross the border.
You're missing some pieces.
This is the first time. Can you do the honors and hand me the carburetor?
This is how you bought it?
Yes, I did not move one thing in this engine compartment because it was cold and I was like, it's all there. We're loading it in the truck. Yeah, you can actually hand me the carburetor.
I smiled when you drove away with this.
I'll smile when it runs.
This goes on that side.
Yep, and the belt's actually shot. So the only red flag in my mind when I first seen this, I was like, oh no, they don't got spark plugs in it.
Right.
Why not?
Right.
Because typically when you see something without spark plugs in a snowmobile, what does it
There's a
usually
hole
mean?
in the piston.
Yep.
Pull it over, you just said throw it in the back.
I just threw it in the back of the truck. I did pull it over this morning.
280 miles, you're taking it home.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Yeah, it's got compression.
So we did get lucky. So outside of the only immediate oh dude, there's some electrical that's very sketchy. Luckily, the red one right there,
Got an identical mate next to
and I got all that figured out, right?
You got no shocks either.
Yeah.
So here's the other question. Your guys' growing up, was it this color?
Yeah, so that's why I wanted
This
this.
is like spot on.
Yeah, when I'm done with it, she'll be cool.
Okay.
So there is something very cool when you think of how many people rode this sled and how many people hit stuff with it and also almost hit stuff with it. So here is how much time do you got before, because you're married, before you got to go to bed?
Oh, I got plenty of time.
Okay, cool.
I just get tired, Eric, because I'm an old man. Give it 1 year, you'll be there too.
1 year. A couple things I want to show you here right off the bat. So I brought in a lot of stuff back from the dad. Basically, you want to fog the motor so oil gets everything. I like taking it down the jugs. And what it just does, it's just gonna absolutely start putting a little oil in those cylinders, because who really knows what's happened. So, this brings us to the carburetor. This little guy, this will throw you for a loop at times. I've been through a bunch of them over the years. We're cannibalizing our perfectly awesome, it's 12 mil, sled that's running for Get Sled.
For this guy, we want the choke cable for it. Because the one he's got is missing.
So that one, it's got... Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was on here.
It is. Look at it really closely. Do you see the problem? We're missing the cable, the spring, the little plunger.
Yeah, you just got the externals.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff it was missing.
Yeah.
There, all that. And luckily, it just is, yep.
Real quick, you heard me and Tom talk earlier about compression, that it has compression. What's notorious for a sled, when the carb's dirty, you run wide open across the field, everything's going great, you're flying, you think you're just like the coolest thing, like next to Chuck Norris, and all of a sudden it's It's okay, you got your helmet on, none of your friends can see you cry. Been there.
I mean, you burnt down a piston?
Yeah, mod motor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've done that.
Bill. Yeah. Okay, so this is called a compression tester. If you look at here, it's just a dial. It's going from 25 all the way up to 150. I'm gonna make one suggestion. If you are looking at a sled at the top tier that is running, stop by a hardware store, buy one of these. Here's why. It's gonna fire up great in the guy's garage.
Yeah.
It's not gonna fire up great outside all the time. Here's a real quick thing. I've never had anyone that I was buying a sled for, if I said, hey, do you mind if I pull plugs out real quick, do a compression test on it? They've never argued. If they would, run, because you know what? That's probably a sign they know something.
They don't want you to find out what you're gonna find out.
Okay, so right off the bat, these work so simple. Typically, this is what you call your clutch side, because the clutch is on it. This is what they call the mag side, because that's where the magneto is. Typically, a clutch will burn, the clutch piston will burn down first, or have a hole in the top of it, and literally, I wish I had one, I know I do got them. They will have just a hole burnt in the top of that piston, because it was running lean and hot. Want to pull it over? Mm-hmm. I don't want to see it, because if I gotta, if it's, you gotta pull over like 3-4 times. 100, that's a little low. I would have loved to have seen like 120, and possibly if we really reaped on it, we might get a little higher. That should be enough to start a kid sled. The other thing I'll tell you, if I would have taken the time to tighten this in, we might have gained a little more too, but that's good enough for a kid sled. On a typical sled, you're gonna wanna see a minimum of 120. Newer sleds are gonna run higher, but typically you really wanna see like 120. Something like this, I'm not really that surprised to only see 100 on it. What we're gonna do here, I measured the gas, we're down to like 1/4 inch. I got a feeling it's not even enough to pick the pulse pump, have the pulse pump pick it up or the fuel pump pick it up. We're gonna throw 2 gallons in it tonight. Now, this is what I'm gonna do that's a little different. Usually when you rebuild a sled, they'll tell you that first tank you wanna mix 50-50. Anytime you got a sled like this, you're bringing it back from the dead, we don't know if that oil pump works. I'm actually gonna fill this oil tank up pump full. The reason for it, I wanna make sure as we run it that I see it go down, because that's telling me the oil pump's working.
Right.
To get around that, what we're gonna do, our first 2 gallons, we're gonna mix it 50-to-1. It's still gonna run. Once we get that worked through, it's gonna be blowing smoke everywhere. But what that's gonna tell me, it's gonna give me time to make sure that that oil injection pump is working, especially on Sled Yucky. And when you're mixing it, a sled like this, it's really not gonna matter. Just make sure it's a 2-stroke oil that's kind of designed for oil injection. Just about everything in today's world is. So we'll call that 5. Again, we're mixing it in fuel, so we're not really worried about it, but. This is just a water remover. Knowing nothing about this tank, I always just assume there's probably a little moisture in there. So this treats up to 10 gallons, I believe, 20 gallons. We're just gonna put a splash in there. One other thing I'll say about this stuff, Minnesota, we have ethanol in fuels. You ever get a small engine that doesn't like to idle or run fine wide open? A lot of times you're just getting a little moisture in that bowl. This stuff I've had really good luck with just taking that out.
Does it taste good?
I got it without no gas.
Okay.
Oh, we got gas. So when you've done this a whole bunch, you're gonna know what gasoline tastes like. When you get it the right amount, you get good, you get it coming, usually you can see some air bubbles, get away then. So we got gas when you pull it over, which is an absolute amazing feat. The pump's not crap. Oh, that fuel line's gonna get replaced. Do we chance it for tonight?
Yep.
Okay. So again, getting back to the spark plugs, you don't have to reef on these things. If you ever fight one to come off hard, that's why. So even though you got a big ratchet, choke it up a little bit.
Pink.
That's about all you need to do. Yeah, just, you can pull threads out and snap them.
Yeah.
All right, Adam. Duck.
Why did you just put the hood down?
In case things fly apart at you.
Oh, I was gonna say, you think we're not
You've
gonna.
never had acorns come back at you, have you? Oh yeah. Dang it, squirrels. Oh, this choke. I know there's a ton of oil in this thing. So with oiling it, the hood falls off. With the flogging oil, okay.
Go, Adam, go.
What else is gonna fly out of this?
I think that might have been a little bit on gas.
Hey, you got a headlight!
What? Yucky! Roll out snow! Sled Yucky, we're gonna ride her tonight. Oh, what am I looking for here?
A helmet.
So excited.
You're looking for a helmet.
thought he was gonna maybe try and slide it. Chop it! The guy's got a 700 or 800cc snowmobile, and he's got a mod sled, and he's having fun on a 340 enticer. Is it worth it?
So let's reiterate what we learned tonight.
Totally worth that big old trip down.
$250. $20 in parts just to make it run horribly like that, but just to annoy neighbors.
That's not needed.
Nope. No, and actually this is down to 20 bucks. So $270. Dude, that was awesome.
Money well spent.